And we head on into this Game 2 draft. We take a look at LGD. They've gone with Treant Protector and Phoenix, while Vici.J, they've got the Monkey King as well as the Warlock. Banned out is Ricky Nix and Troll Darkseer. So, a bit deep into this draft. Nothing really too crazy coming out from either side. Treant makes it through the bans, and as well as Monkey King.
Well, Monkey King and Warlock are two pretty stable picks. Doesn't give out a lot of information about the draft. And Treant is also not unusual. Kind of a pretty strong roaming hero at the moment. The Phoenix, though. So Phoenix can be pretty strong, as we saw with OG. I think he has to be played pretty well, or pretty specifically as well. The Phoenix is kind of like a low-key counter to Monkey King too, because Monkey King wants to fight in his ulti, but when there's an egg going off, there's not much Monkey King can do about it.
Yeah, sometimes you see the Wukong's command, and then they completely just have to ditch it because they've got the Supernova just, you know, raining damage and a big threat to a Monkey King there.
Yeah.
So
there's an Ember Spirit ban, which gives would have given LGD a lot of magic damage, and also just something else to have to deal with in the middle of a team fight.
So they ban out the Centaur, which is interesting considering the fact that we haven't seen much Centaur, even with it not getting banned out. Just seems like an interesting ban to me, something that's not getting picked up too much.
I think both the Nyx and the Centaur might be targeted bans towards OTK, the offlane player, and wouldn't be surprised if they ban out another offlaner hero if they're gonna continue with that trend. Like a Magnus or a Legion Commander.
Well, they do have second pick in this next phase coming out. So we'll have to see if maybe Vici.J, if the Magnus gets through, maybe they go for it, or even if it's not banned here, if LGD grab it.
I'm sort of wondering if LGD actually picked the Phoenix in response to the Troll and Darkseer bans, because both of those heroes do well against Phoenix. Troll obviously gives enough attack speed to kill the egg, and Darkseer kind of pulls the Phoenix into a position he doesn't want to be in.
So Jug gets banned out. Obviously still Magnus on the board, but usually you do see a Magnus with a Jug. That's a pretty common combination.
Yeah. It's okay to just ban the Jug here if they think that Juggernaut's good against their current and prospective lineup. Jug doesn't do too poorly against Treant and Phoenix.
Is Ursa a good counter here for Vici.J, or can he just get kited too much during the Supernova?
I think Ursa's good at early levels, but ideally when you have an Ursa on your team, you don't want to use the overpower Fury Swipes to kill an egg. It does work well against the egg, but
well, and the egg's gonna have a much greater chance of going off, especially with the Treant. You combine those two ultimates together, it really does make some mayhem for Vici.J.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like LGD's snag Ursa. Ursa's one of those heroes that can lane pretty much against anyone in the game, even Abaddon and or Abaddon, and it kind of helps out the Phoenix too, because Phoenix is one of those heroes that's kind of needs a lot of levels in lane, and he doesn't really do much to help out in the lane, so Ursa should do well in that regard.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so Ursa, Phoenix, Treant, obviously a bit of slow coming the way of the side of LGD, which could help the Ursa get some early kills.
So VG.J pick up Slark, who I think performed pretty well as a hero at the Kiev Major, and it's one of he is a hero that is decent against Ursa, because the Ursa shouldn't ever be able to lock down the Slark if the Slark's paying attention.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and LGD, they kind of lack stuns at this moment. They really need at least one going into this game, especially with a Slark now in it. and that's what they're gonna get in a Sand King.
Radiant team
So.
ban.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because Slark is like pretty difficult to kill on his own this game, and he has an Abaddon to save him, and with the Warlock to counter initiate as well.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
Vici.J, they need a mid. LGD, they look to be needing a
5
mid. Of course,
seconds
Ursa
remaining.
could go mid. But what do you think both these teams are looking
Reserve
at
time.
in terms of a hero?
LGD's turn to ban.
There's always a Lina. I think Lina's a pretty solid pick in general for both of these teams. Maybe especially Vici.J because it gives them a ranged hero to deal with the egg. And Lina's just a machine gun.
10 seconds
Wouldn't be
remaining.
surprised to see it banned out here if they're not going to pick it up because they do have first pick on LGD. So I
5
feel it's
seconds
either banned or they're going to pick it.
Yeah. Also, I think some of these teams
Reserve time.
might favor Medusa. Like Slark doesn't do too well against Medusa. That gives LGD a high ground mechanic and really solidifies their team fight. LGD might also consider a ODE, which is good against Abaddon. Sorry about my pronunciation. I keep playing with people that pronounce it that way.
That's how I say it. Funny enough.
Is there a correct way? This was discussed at Kiev.
I didn't see that part if it
I'm
was
too tired to
discussed
remember.
at Kiev, but I do say Abaddon.
Dude, I've been playing with AUI for like 8 years, and he just pronounces it like that.
LGD's turn to ban.
Storm Spirit.
So Storm Spirit picked up by LGD, a bit more lockdown for them, and a lot of mobility too. Another team that's going to be relying on blink daggers.
Oh, Vici can still pick up a
10 seconds.
Lena, or they can consider something like a mid silencer if they.
Death Prophet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that hero in forever. I think there's a. I actually don't know what her talent tree is. I'm gonna check that out right now.
Yeah, so LGD, they're going to be looking for blinks on Sand King, Ursa, possibly the Treant. They want that mobility there with the Storm Spirit. And obviously, this is a good combination of the Storm Spirit and the Treant Protector because you're going to be using that Nature's Guise to help get that Storm Spirit vision in the mid-game when you're trying to get those big pickoffs.
Yep. I looked at Death Prophet's talent tree, and it's very underwhelming, but I think this hero for Vici.J might be their tower pusher. Well, she is, and I think that might be their plan for this game,
10
just to
seconds remaining.
sit behind a Death Prophet while she takes towers with Abaddon,
Seconds remaining.
and with Warlock and Monkey King to counter-initiate.
That Lena was still available. I think, Vici.J, they had no reserve time left. Do you think maybe this Death Prophet was a bit of a panic pick? Just because they didn't have a lot of time, and I feel like Lena was just such a good choice for them.
Could be one of two things. It could be that maybe they're not comfortable playing that hero, which is unlikely, considering she's been in the meta for a while. And the other thing is that Storm and Ursa have a lot of burst potential in the Lena. Lena doesn't actually have a lot of escape mechanics, so they might think that she's too easy of a target this game. Or that maybe their high ground isn't strong enough with Alina, but maybe stronger with a Death Prophet.
Look at these towers. Just fantastic. All right, so game 2, LGD. They have that 1-0 lead. We're going to go around the horn real quick. Old 11 is going to be on the Sand King. Ame is going to be playing the Ursa. Mid is going to be maybe Treant Protector played by Victoria. Phoenix is going to be played by Yao. And for the other side, Vici.J, it's going to be Abaddon played by ROTK. Freeze is going to be on that Death Prophet. Fenrir with the Warlock. Aggressive on the Slark. And then finally, it's going to be Monkey King played by FY.
So ROTK opted for boots first, which is probably necessary against a safe lane Ursa, since poor man's shield doesn't really help you that much against the Fury swipes. There's a bit of poking happening down here.
Yeah, they find an old 11, and they are getting some pretty good body blocks, and no Chingu mastery for Monkey King, as that's what we saw Game 1's Monkey King go with first last game.
Yep. Yo, Monkey King transforms into a tree. Can tree stay invisible next to him?
I really.
I'm gonna say no, but you know,
The battle begins.
I can dream.
I never even thought about that, but there's the pounce coming in from Aggressive. FY, he's got himself that Jingu Mastery. It's now popped in full, but now they're actually trying to turn this around. They've got Burrow Strike if they can close the distance, but I don't think they will.
Is this an aggressive tri-lane? It could be.
Yeah, it looks as though they're going to have Old 11 off lane with both Tree and Protector as well as the Phoenix. I really want to know now if Monkey King is the Tree, if Tree can just stand next to him the entire time. But Monkey King's actually going to make the rotation up top into his off lane here with ROTK. Does this really change the lane for Ame? Is there any really chance that he's going to fall? Obviously, boots are on ROTK, and they can kind of chase down this Ursa a little bit.
I think he's gonna get zoned out. He's not gonna have the lane he wants.
Burrow Strike comes out as well as the pounce from Aggressive, but it's not going to save the life of Fenrir, as Old 11 is going to end up getting that first blood, and that's this aggressive tri-lane going to work for LGD already.
Yeah, so I think the way that Valve has been balancing these roamers is they've been making them weaker in proper trading. So like Monkey King can't trade in a 3-on-3 situation because if all three heroes target him, he dies pretty easily. But he is pretty effective at zoning out this Ursa 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, I guess, in this situation. So
meanwhile, bottom they are going to get a kill. Actually, this time on Aggressive.
it's lane not going too hot for VG.J.
No, it's already out of whack, and it's not good. You lose your carry once, you lose Fenrir once. This bottom lane is just very broken at this point.
Yeah, Slark's not the best laner in the game, and as soon as Sanking gets an advantage, I think this lane's gonna get really tough for him since Caustic Finale makes it really difficult for any melee carry to walk into the lane.
And with the backup he's got, it gets that much tougher. And there's the Icarus dive. Here comes the bash coming in from Victoria. They still do have the Burrow Strike if they want to go for it. There's the Leech Seed coming out from Aggressive, as well as Fenrir coming through with the Shadow Word on Victoria. But that's only going to deter LGD for a little moment longer.
Excellent.
They can just go back in.
Yep.
They'll heal up at the shrine, and then they'll probably go for take 3.
And it looks like mid lane's pretty even, although Storm was forced to pop a shrine. I think Death Prophet should have an advantage for the next couple of levels.
And it looks as though that maybe he's just going to come on over and look to just farm up these camps. And he did get this stack over here, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, might also be scared about a Monkey King rotation since he's been off the map for a while.
Ooh, Pounce comes out onto the Phoenix. Icarus dive to get away. And under this Sentry Ward and Ward is going to be Victoria, but they're going to spot it out. So now they have no more vision of this Treant, and they have to be that much more careful up against this tri-lane still.
Yep. This tree's doing a really good job of making the Slaughter or the Slark scared.
And as he should be.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage on the Stormster's gonna have to pop another shrine. It's like a tree rotated top.
Yeah,
this might actually be bad for the...
Jingu Mastery's going to hit as well as the Balance Strike. Ame getting very low. The Leech Seed's going to keep him alive, and now FY might be the one who's in trouble, but Victoria just continuing to get rocked by ROTK. And both of them end up surviving on LGD, which is only a plus.
Definitely. They might actually get ROTK here.
Yeah, they do.
That
And
tree hits
Victoria.
way too hard.
98 for the big
Down in
man.
bottom lane.
Looks as though they've got the Shadow Word out on old 11. He's getting very low to these Fatal Bonds. I'm not too
It's
sure
enough
they're
creeps to kill him. I think.
no.
Maybe.
That was Shadow Word just going to survive.
Yeah, I think it was a level 2 Shadow Word he would have died.
Just missed 2 kills on screen.
We might see a defense from LGD.
They have what it takes. I mean, the Epicenter is not up, actually, so maybe not. You think they need Epicenter to really form a defense?
They have the Phoenix Egg and level 4 Spirits. I think they're gonna try, maybe? I guess not.
Yeah, you're up by quite a bit. You give up that tier 1 tower. If the fight goes wrong, maybe puts yourself in a bad spot.
It is kind of tough to fight through the Abaddon and the Death Prophet now that she has the full Yules. LGD might be waiting until they have... or until they smoke. But probably hoping that their Storm has a good timing on that Bloodstone before they start being really aggressive.
While you say that, they're smoked up and gonna be going after what looks to be as aggressive.
Heh. Oh. They saw him.
Yeah,
Or aggressive saw them.
Yeah, Pounce Out, Dark Pact, and Smoke Gank is effective as they turn around. They find ROTK. Gonna pop that ulti, but they'll pull him right back in. But the Shrine, that might keep him alive long enough. The Chaotic Offering's gonna come in from Vici.J. The Wukong's command is gonna be there to follow it up. They've taken out the Ursa. They're looking for more. Aggressive's gonna move up on Victoria, who is now invisible, but he's gonna be dusted up. A huge Epicenter coming through with a nice 4-man Burrow Strike. The Supernova's gonna lay on top of that. They're going to get themselves 3 as they lose the Sand King. A huge turnaround from LGD on the amazing play of the Sand King Old 11.
Well, it's the reverse bait happening this game.
That was...
I think if you're LGD, you're just happy that your Storm didn't die, since I think this Bloodstone timing is going to be really important for him. This Ursa, though, dying after all these aggressive movements. I think LGD are probably going to look for a Roche attempt after they have a Bloodstone on the Storm, or maybe a pick off before they do Roshan. But I think definitely that's Ursa's purpose in this game, just to help them secure Roshan and pickoffs.
If Storm gets an early enough Bloodstone, can he be the one who opens up the map to let Ursa get that farm a little bit later on?
A little bit, yes. I think they're going to be doing a lot of tower pushing and fighting with it, since it's kind of tough for Storm to get pickoffs on the Slark or the Abaddon. They kind of need like a lot of heroes to take down. Vici's cores. There's a smoke happening here.
And they look towards bottom where Victoria is. But that's it, and they're not going to be able to find him.
He might walk into the sentry on the left. Or not. So this Slark's being pinged out, I think.
So,
But looks like both teams are just content just farming right now.
Yeah, they want that Bloodstone pretty badly for maybe. And now the TPs are going to come in. Aggressive gets that Dark Pack out. ROTK is here. Let's see LGD if they're going to go forward. But it looks as though they're just going to retreat. Go back to farming. Again, try to finish off that Bloodstone for the Storm, in which that crucial moment happens on whether or not he's going to lose or gain those early Bloodstone charges.
So if Freeze completes his Solar Crest here, they're gonna have both a medallion and a Solar Crest on VG.J, because OTK also has a medallion. It's not bad to have both. In fact, it'll give them a lot of armor in team fights. Fenrir is sitting very low on the net worth, but that's also because he hasn't had anywhere to farm.
And he's only level 8 while the Phoenix is still level 10.
Yeah, this Phoenix is having a great time.
So he's going for the Midas next, so...
Yeah.
I'll be looking
This
out.
tree's trying to break a potential smoke gank, but he knows he's in a sentry now. Storm has completed his Bloodstone, so he has that.
In which case they can start to kind of be aggressive and
Radiant's
continue to push these towers. And I'm not too sure LGD know this.
He doesn't have a
but
TP, actually.
actually down
Right.
bottom, Aggressive's gonna die. I was actually looking over towards Roche. As ROTK and Freeze, they're just gonna grab themselves an easy Aegis. They lose the Slark, they get themselves the Aegis, and coming in from behind is going to be LGD, so even despite getting this Aegis, this could turn around, as now coming in is Old 11, he's going to be silenced up, he's going to force step himself away from the side of Vici.J. Let's see if they walk into the hands of LGD, and it looks as though they're going to, if they continue on this track. ROTK, oh no, he has already died 5 times, please don't go in the jungle, you want to keep your life, sir.
Yeah, I don't think LGD have any intention of going on an Abaddon who still has his ulti in between two towers. But yeah, I think that was a really cool move.
They're actually
Roche
going to
and-
go in on Freeze, and now he's going to be used up the balance strike as well as the Wukong's command comes out on FY. He's going to be immediately barrel struck, and Ame is going to clean it up. So Freeze is going to try and go with the Spirit Siphon, but they've got themselves the Overgrowth as well as the Supernova. They're going to lose themselves another one in Fenrir, and continuing to go in is Maybe. He's got himself another one. Aggressive is going to fall, and they're going to continue to work on Vici.J as they get the Burrow Strike coming out on 2 as well as the Epicenter. That's going to be 4 dead, and they're looking for more. They're looking for ROTK, and they get the entire team wipe as they're going to look for Freeze, and this should be all but easy for LGD as they are all here. The Spirit Siphon can only do so much when you're surrounded by the entire team. Here comes the Yules to keep them alive a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough. And they will finish off the Aegis. They will finish off the Death Prophet, which is the entire side of Vici.J.
Yep, even though VG.J had the Aegis there, I think LGD were confident about that fight just because they knew Death Prophet ulti was going to be down for a while, and Storm secures himself 19 Bloodstone charges, which is a lot.
Oh, yeah. He gets 5 right off the bat like that in that fight alone. Plus the aggressive one down bottom. Really stacking them up.
Yeah. They're just starting to work on a Desolator, which should give them a little bit more building hitting power, but also more burst potential on the Slark and the Monkey King, which he's been targeting in fights.
So that really pushes back Vici.J in some of their item progressions, especially Aggressive, who's just struggled this entire game. He's picked up that Midas, still wants the Shadow Blade, but he's actually still 1,200 gold away from it.
Yeah, Slark plays well when his team's doing well, and his team didn't get the best start. So it kind of limits the amount of places he can farm safely, and even when he can farm, he has to be scared of getting jumped by Storm and Sand King. They do have Sand King stun to stun him through ulti TP, and yeah,
So Old 11.
he's just stuck farming as safely as possible.
Man, he still needs that Shadow Blade, and even with it, is it gonna really make the difference? I just think LGD, they have a good lead right now. Their Storm Spirit's quite strong. That's only gonna open it up more for this Ursa, who's just about to get that Desolator finished off.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be playing around this Death Prophet ulti as well as the Abaddon. I don't see Slark getting any pickups on the map, not easily anyway.
Aggressive's gonna fall again, this time to the Storm Spirit.
There's always might be a tree or a Sand King watching you, so there's that.
Epicenter used by Old 11.
Might go on him here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to go on him as they have the nice Solar Crest as well as the Primal Spring. They come in with the Boundless Strike, clean him up quite easily. But now coming through is going to be maybe. He's going to zip around this side of Vici.J, maybe rethinks it as he sees the Death Prophets in there with ROTK.
FY predicted the 4-star from the Sand King there with the Primal Spring, which is really cool. Managed to hit him at the end of the 4-staff. Storm might.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Actually, FY goes in again. Icarus dive away. Let's take a look at Storm.
Yeah, one of the cool things about Phoenix is when you get that level 15 Fire Spirit's DPS talent, it turns Phoenix into a split pusher because he normally can't split push that easily.
Oh boy, Aggressive might be in trouble again. He's gonna walk right by Victoria. There's the Dark Pack to blink with the bash, but Dark Pack in time, and he will be able to pounce out.
Yo, that blink into bash tree mechanic is one of the most unfair things ever.
Yeah, I don't know if the fade to invis should be. What?
Oh, it's pretty quick, but these people are more quick with their right clicks.
Yeah, I just feel as though maybe if you blink that far away from the trees, you should not be able to get that bash. Maybe it should be a bash based on your radius to the tree at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just shouldn't be possible, or it shouldn't be the case where you can blink into a bash.
Take a look over mid. ROTK might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to use that ulti, but he's locked up by maybe. They're going to go in with a Burrow Strike. They're going to get him back to full health, but they'll bring him right back down. And maybe we'll clean another one up. 21-7 now. Take a look over at Aggressive. They're going to find themselves a kill in Victoria. No. He's going to be able to get away. He blinks away, survives with the Nature's guys. They can't find him.
That was a little bit confusing. I feel like...
Under attack.
Wait, I think the tree just straight up outran the Slark with Nature's guys.
I mean, he's pretty much hasted when he's invisible.
Yeah. This Storm is gonna have no issues with mana for a very long time. With 21 Bloodstone charges. I think he just finished an Orchid as well, so...
He's 5-2. I'm going to make the prediction. I don't think he dies again. But
yeah,
that's bold.
Vici... VG.J pretty much only have 2 stuns, the Warlock Golem and Monkey King stun. VG.J are smoked up right now.
Yep,
they don't actually have any wards that see LGD's heroes aside from Sand King, who just showed mid. I think LGD should know something's up.
I'm over here.
So Victoria, as much as he's just a Treen, he's still a hard target to kill. The Pounce is going to be there as well as the Dark Pack to get the Sentry down. They'll be able to get the kill. It's a 6-time streak going the way of Freeze, and now Storm Spirit's going to come in. He's going to lock himself up Aggressive. Now he's going to be able to use that Shadow Dance. Old 11's going to be here as the Burrow Strike comes on through. Not going to hit on anybody. They're going to continue to look in from Vici.J. They're looking towards that Chaotic Offering. They're going to get the Primal Spring as well as the Eels coming out from Freeze. They're going to run him down as well as the Silence, and Old 11 is going to be taken out. So 2 kills for Vici.J. It's
going
pretty
back
nice, but LGD, they think about going back in. This Storm, his regen's so nice that he can do things like that, like zip in, zip out.
Yeah. Looks like Ursa's looking to get started on Roche, but it's not spawning anytime soon, is it? Well,
So
not immediately anyway.
32 seconds.
He does have an illusion to scout that out, and oh, where was that?
That was bottom. I can't even follow him because I'm following Ursa, thinking that he might go into Roche with Victoria, and I'm trying to follow the Storm Spirit, and he's bottom.
We should probably follow the infinite mana Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lincoln's coming up on the Death Prophet.
Yeah, maybe it's just so far ahead, and he's going for a Bloodthorn, and it's not going to be too far away.
Yep. This Lincoln should be good for the Death Prophet since it blocks pretty much every stun coming from LGD. Minus the overgrowth.
Ooh, Burrow Strike comes up a little bit too high from Old 11. And in Roche is Ame. They're going to continue to give him that heal from Victoria. There's really not much they can do, and now zipping in is going to be maybe on ROTK. He's going to zip on out. And now let's see, they're going to try and chase. Aggressive's going to come in behind him, but I'm not too sure you even want to take this fight. I don't think you can. Aggressive's going to be standing very close, and if he goes on, maybe that might be the wrong choice. He thinks that the rest of the team is... Wow!
Whoa.
Ooh, they blew him up pretty quickly. Prediction wrong.
Oh, well, when you land all your spells on the Storm, turns out he dies. I think that was a a double, or like both the Solar Crest and the Medallion on the Storm, which puts him into negative armor. And oh my gosh, he's already back alive, killing the Warlock bottom.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the fight recap, trying to get a grasp at everything, and it was 1,000 damage done by that Swark very quickly. Meanwhile, up top, Spirit 7's going to come out on Old 11. He's going to try and get away as the Solar Crest is out on him. The Primal Spring's going to land. He's going to continue to go in the base. Gets the Burrow Strike out of vision. Can he get out? And he will, deep inside the VG.J base.
That's an Ags upgraded Burrow Strike, so put him far enough to get that TP off.
So
Kind of interesting that they put the Aegis on the Earth. I think usually teams will put it on the Storm. Maybe they thought the Storm couldn't die in these fights.
Yeah, unfortunately, Storm got picked off right after they took Roche, and Ursa ends up...
They give Storm a gem, though, so... That was actually a pretty good call.
Wow, he's going to zip all the way forward onto FY. Jesus.
Wasn't enough to kill him, though. That was a pretty good call from VG.J to pick off the Storm there, because normally you'd think, hey, the enemy team just killed Roche. We shouldn't take a fight next to it, but...
Pounce is going to come on through. Might be in a little bit of trouble as this Sanking Old 11 is going to be knocked out of this fight by Freeze. And VG.J, they're kind of getting these pickoffs that they need to close the gap. It's working out very well for them. They were down, what, 10,000? Oh, boy. I hear that ball lightning, and I have to, like, stop everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have a 10,000 net worth lead at one point, now down to 7,500. So slowly cutting into it is VG.J.
Yeah, VG.J is doing a really good job picking off these lone LGD heroes. Looks like LGD's looking at the smoke up here. Or at least move into the jungle together. Oh, there's the smoke.
There it is. I'm going to move through the jungle right now. It's the ON7 Abaddon. Still looking for that Radiance, and actually he's queued off a bit. It might be coming his way, but he's going to be hit by that Burrow Strike. Zipping in. He's going to be, maybe, he's going to pop that ulti already. Going to lock him down. There's the Sunray coming in from the Phoenix, and now the Chaotic Offering's going to stop, maybe for just a moment. They're already going to bring down ROTK, but on the return, they take out Old 11. They're going to take out this Golem very quickly, and now the Eagles is going to come out on the Phoenix. He's going to use that Supernova. Aggressive might be able to get the kill, but here's the Overgrowth that's going to lock them in place. Victoria's going to try something as the Wukong's command is going to come out, but now stunned up is FY as well as Aggressive and Freeze, and zipping through it is going to be Ame with his boy, the Storm Spirit, maybe. So they're going to continue to move forward. They lock up Aggressive just before he gets to the well. They'll take another. And it will be...
If Storm didn't have the gem there, they wouldn't have got that star kill. And we just saw the power of the Seg and Overgrowth.
Nice 4-for-1 trade in favor of LGD. And I said Ame zipping in, but I did mean maybe, as Ame was already there.
Ah, they were both zipping in, really.
He's got the blink. That's a bit of a zip.
Yep. Storm's back to a sizable 19 Bloodstone charges and
back to a 14,000, almost 15,000 net worth lead.
With Tree having a blink, it's really hard.
There's the Burrow Strike. They're going to continue to go in. Fenrir immediately blown up. And this looks very, very grim for VG.J. And this isn't an elimination game. This is upper bracket that'll get you upper bracket finals that'll get you to the grand final of this qualifier. So VG.J, nothing to worry about if they do get sent down to the lower bracket. RTK is going to have his ulti popped out. Meanwhile, they're losing that mid racks. That's a second set of racks they're going to lose. And LGD, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue towards top.
They still have the Ursa Aegis, so there's no fear.
Aggressive Seer is going to get that pound source, is going to get brought down very low. Immediately going to pop out that Aegis. Let's see what LGD can do. They're looking to maybe make a reinitiation as you're going to try and zip through the trees. They're not going to find anything. As now they finally lock up FY. He might be in a little bit of trouble. The Epicenter is going to come all the way deep onto Freeze, but it's not going to be enough to kill him just yet. The BKB is going to be popped by Ame. They're going to continue to run in. Freeze, one or two more shots should do it, and he's going to be brought down. RTK is going to try and run away, but he doesn't have that ult anymore, and the last one alive is going to be aggressive, and he's going to be taken out as well as Fenrir, and GG is called by VG.J as OGD clean up this series 2-0. And yes, it is a disaster. And they will win it pretty easily.
Well, LGD did a really good job of kind of securing farm for the Sand King bottom and kind of slowed down Slark's item progression a lot. And it looked like the Monkey King Abaddon lane was doing really well top, but I think a few overextensions kind of got punished, and Abaddon and Monkey King ended up dying several times each, which put the Ursa in the tree really far ahead.
Yeah, Ursa didn't have the quickest of starts either, and he still got quite far ahead.
Yeah, their entire team was ahead enough that the Storm was able to just jungle safely and give the Phoenix levels mid, which ended up being really useful.